Employer told me not to clock on until I'm on the floor. Hey all. For the whole year and a half working, I've clocked on when I got there, put my stuff back in the break room, got on all my work gear, and then walked up and got to my register. This morning, I was told I wasn't allowed to clock on until I had all my gear on and was ready to go. Is this illegal? I'm technically getting ready for my shift in this time I'm in the break room before heading up. I live in Washington State in the USA for reference. Is this considered time theft? Employers have to compensate employees for the time spent putting on uniforms or protective gear if it is integral to performing the principal activities of the job. If you're putting on gear specifically for that job at work, they have to pay you for that time. At least in the US. Tons of companies have been sued for this exact thing and have universally been told they needed to pay. It's not legal in the US under the FLSA. There are lots of class action lawsuits on these issues. They are supposed to allow you to clock in and then change into mandatory work clothes or equipment. Read this article. https www.hg.org/legalarticles/paying employees 4 time spent changing clothes lessons learned from a 10-month lawsuit. T54560 # text equals to %20 begin %2c %20 the %20 fair %20 labor requirements %20 come %20 from %20 the %20 employer. One place I worked, if you opened the store the system would change the time by 2 minutes. If you were closing the system would add 2 or 3 minutes. The thought being that, if you are opening, as soon as you are unlocking the door, you are on the clock. That also worked or closing. You are still working until you lock the doors. I'm not sure if they got sued or it was a liability problem. But it was fair and reasonable. This type of thing is so funny. These companies are basically at war with employees. It's sad because the employees are probably the only people that actually care about the business. And they are treated the worst. I worked for an auto manufacturer that didn't pay people to put on their uniform, gear, safety shoes, etc. Someone went to the labor board and they had to figure out how long it would take on average to get work ready. Then they backpaid everyone for years worth of that time. I remember getting over $3,000. Also, if the company emphasizes stretching to ensure proper safety, that is billable time too. Used to tick off my boss at Walmart that I'd clock in, then begin the 15-minute stretches. If it's an employer-supplied uniform that has to be kept at the worksite, changing into and out of uniform is a compensable work activity. If you're showing up early, they can tell you not to clock in early. But as you've been advised, if you have duties to perform that prepare you for you, on the floor duties, they're required to pay you for that time spent preparing. If this is retail, which I'm guessing it is since you go to a register, sounds like a manager just being a douche. I just ignore them. Unless you're clocking in and taking 30 minutes in the break room to get ready. Retail in the US is struggling to keep employees around, so I would just call their bluff. Worked at a new Dollar General distribution center that was built and they made us come to work 15 minutes early for stretching and shift huddle but wouldn't let us clock in for it. Pissed me off so bad lol. Worst job I ever had and quit after 3 months. I am not sure what your entails. You may want to add some more specifics. In terms of an office job, the expectation is employees show up in correct attire. I could show up in a t-shirt and sweatpants, go to the gym entrance to the building, take a 30 minutes shower, put on my business attire, then go over to my desk. I would not expect my employer to consider that time as on the clock. However, if this is gear only on site, e.g. hazmat gear, then I would expect gearing up would be considered on the clock. Unfamiliar with WA law and IANAL? Get them to put it into writing or email you with the policy. Once you have that, call a labor lawyer. Right, well, the time clock is in the back of the building. If you need me to teleport to my register, I suggest you invent the technology. All these boomers ranting and raving about time theft. When I worked retail, I clocked in, went to my locker in the back room, put things away and put on my meat cutter apron. Never once was I even talked to about this. If you're coming in early to do all this off the clock, get the boot out of your mouth. Are you in California? If so, there is a thing called donning and doffing that they have to pay you for when you arrive if you must change into a uniform or add work-related garments or equipment. Check with the labor board in your state. If you're union, check with your shop steward. Yes, this is wage theft in WA. Look at bullet point 2 in the link document. Nope. Prep time is compensatable. If they require you to wear gear to work, then they can pay you to don it. I wish I knew this a long time ago. I have 8 years having to be in their uniform before I clock in. And I had to clock out before I changed. I'm owed at least $1,200. Say, put it in writing. If it's a uniform, then they are right. If it's equipment, then you are right.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.